Every morning, I come out of the house, I say to myself, it's going to be okay. There's going to be no traffic. I'm going to be able to park. It's going to be worth taking the car. Maybe it'll be clear. Maybe. Oh, not again. Oh, somebody ought to do something about this. It's ridiculous. There are plenty of experts out there with all sorts of ideas. One of them must have discovered the solution for us businessmen.
If you just took away all the company car subsidies in London, then put all that revenue into public transport, I think you'd get a public transport system that would be unrecognisably better than the one we've got at the moment.
Public transport's running at capacity, so should be improved, both the rail, the underground and the buses. In outer London, where orbital routes are more important, the roads and orbital roads definitely need improving, particularly in South London, where there are no decent orbital roads at all.
But this is the South Circular Road, and it's one of the major roads in London which are covered by these proposals by the Department of Transport. My flat and the houses of 100,000 other Londoners are affected by it, and what is proposed is really widening this by, I guess, about 30 to 40 yards so that they can get more traffic down it.
And would that work?
It's not working here now. What it certainly would do is destroy a community, and I'm not convinced, and thousands of others aren't convinced, that the £3.5 billion is money well spent, really.
So a few houses get knocked down, but you should get some brilliant roads for £3.5 billion.
Well, I think there has to be an acceptance that more road building in London isn't going to solve London's transport problems, that wherever you build roads in London, they're just going to fill up.
Most people think the solution is to build more roads, but that is not the solution, because people will get into their cars until it's as bad as the best of the alternatives. So, paradoxically, it's the alternative that you've got to make better. You can't make it better for the car by building more roads. You have to build more railways, more bus lanes, things like that.
All right then, so why don't I use a bus? Well, I'll tell you why I won't use a bus. Well, for a kick-off, I haven't been on one for 10 years, and I'm not about to start now. And they're no quicker, because Berks like me are holding them up in the first place. And you have to wait 5 minutes in the pouring rain for one to come along. And then, they don't go from door to door, which means walking's involved. Anyway, if you want the buses to work properly, you'll have to make the bus lanes work properly. And that's likely to mean more roads and more demolished houses. Unless, of course, you let them run along the old railways.
Roads are far more land-hungry than railways. Most of the railways we want to build are going to be underground, across the centre, connecting up the British rail system from one side to the other.
No, I don't live anywhere near a tube station, but even if I did, I still wouldn't use one, because I really don't want to spend my mornings in a tunnel full of halitosis and armpits. And besides, I've got a car, my own little cocoon. I've got a comfy armchair, privacy, I can pick my nose if I want, listen to the traffic reports on the radio, I can even play CD. Oh, if they banned that, I might have to reconsider. Now, most of this lot could have left their cars on the outskirts of London and transferred to the tube, if it wasn't like the black hole in Calcutta. Surely the private sector could get this traffic sorted out.
The private sector can help by building new capacity in urban areas and putting tolls on them. The sort of capacity that we have in mind is very small-scale roads, thin roads, two-lane roads that will fit in easily into the urban fabric.
It seems to me the only way Mr. Starkey's private toll roads could fit in easily would be to put them up in the air, over existing roads, or along those old railway lines. But then again, a single line of cars all running at 50 miles an hour sounds a bit like a train without couplings. Mind you, it'd carry a lot fewer people.
If there were a lot of them, it could make a significant contribution. It could mean that a large proportion of motorists who have very urgent journeys will be able to take advantage of them. And really that is the motoring population that you're tried to cater for in this particular case.
The real problem is that there are far too many people in London and the whiz-bang southeast, when we're told the rest of the country is practically starving, and the gap is supposed to be getting wider. Oh, what is that? Why on earth are they building new buildings right in the middle of London? It's full. They won't be able to get people to come and work there. Copy typists have to earn £12,000 a year before they'll get out of bed. There are no teachers, no nobody. Why don't you go and build it in Barnsley? The CBI bangs on about the billions of pounds all this congestion in the southeast costs. Well, if they don't like it, why don't they go somewhere else? And if there are still a load of people like me who want to huddle together in London, why should the rest of you out there care a fig if it's so difficult for us to run a car?
About 18 months ago, I got rid of my car. I thought I'd trade it up for a new car, and I went to America on a holiday and drove around Los Angeles, and that made me think a lot about new road building. And I came back, and it suddenly occurred to me that a new car in this area is going to get broken into. My car had been broken into twice. I inquired about a garage, £10,000. I inquired about a car, £7,000 to £8,000, plus insurance, plus tax, plus petrol, plus servicing. I worked out that if I used black cabs all the time, used the tube, and then hired a car at the weekend, I'd be quids in, and that's what I do.
Sounds a bit drastic to me. I'm bound to find a parking space soon. Aha! Well, that's not too bad. Only 8 times around the block and I found somewhere to park. So there you are. That was a journey of just under a mile and it's taken over 20 minutes. And I'm not unusual. Lots of Londoners do that every day. And they see the traffic jam as being a problem. But maybe it isn't. Maybe we should do nothing. Maybe the traffic jam is the solution to all the overcrowding in the southeast. And you want to know why you've never heard it put like that before? Maybe it's because the media's based down here as well.